Hello once again to all our friends, our televiewers, our supporters, and all those who have been with us here at iGreyhound for the past many years. My name is Cecile Henove, and here we are again. It's another Thursday, and this promises to be a very exciting one since we are trying out another platform. We have always been at our studio, but this is certainly not the first time that we're trying a Zoom interview. And this time we are doing this because, of course, our interviewee is in a faraway place, and she will tell us where she is right now. So may I welcome to our Zoom interview, and welcome as well to our program, iGreyhound, one of our illustrious alumni of Foundation University in the person of Miss Mary Joy Sienes. Hi, Miss Joy.
Pleasant day. Hi, ma'am. Hello, everyone.
Yes, I would have wanted to welcome you really in person here on campus, but because it's a working day for you, and it's also you are in a particular place where you are pursuing your career, then this is the best way by which we can talk to you. Yes, Miss Joy, you are a graduate. Let me start off with your credentials here at Foundation University. You graduated magna cum laude. You also was the class valedictorian way back in 2004, and henceforth you have been making waves in the education sector. Yes, please tell us, Ms. Joy. I will allow you to start off where you are most comfortable in.
Yeah, that's right. I graduated in 2004, and I was very grateful. Foundation University eventually took me to be part of the teaching team in the high school department. And after 2 years, I transferred to the College of Arts and Sciences. And then at the same time, the late Dr. Florendo took me in the College of Education to teach professional subjects. I was really grateful for all the opportunities that were given to me by Foundation University, knowing like if you're a fresh graduate, it would be very tough to find a job. But Foundation University did not hesitate to take me in right after graduation.
Yes, but of course you were an honor student, and that certainly made a difference. Of course, not to demean anyone here at Foundation University, but the credentials, as they say, speak for themselves. Now, since that particular time, Miss Joy, that you taught at the high school department, then onwards to the College of Education, and you mentioned Dr. Thelma Florendo, the late Dr. Thelma Florendo, the former dean of the College of Education. Right. Yes, and then onwards to the College of Arts and Sciences. But this time you are in, I will mention where you are now, you are in Vietnam, and here you are.
Vietnam, in Hanoi.
Yes, right. And here you are again doing what you love most, which is the teaching profession. Yeah. So how has it been, Miss Joy, since then?
Oh, it was very challenging because I came in 2019, but then I was able to visit my family for Christmas. But then when I came back, that was the time that COVID started. So it was really difficult because I was new to this place. I had a hard time finding food, the means of transportation, and most importantly, the language barrier.
Language, yes.
So I could remember how I struggled finding a cab, or I was crying in the middle of the road because no one could take me home because nobody could understand me. So it was really a struggle. But then after 4 years, I get the hang of it.
Yes, but before Vietnam, I understand that you also worked in the Middle East as a teacher, Miss Joy. Perhaps you can share with our viewers also, your experience there.
Yeah, so I taught in Foundation for 5 years. After that, when I get married, my husband, so I had a baby. But then I realized that it's hard if my child would grow up without a father. So I made a very big decision. I have to quit my job. So I went to the Middle East with my husband. But then after 3 long years of being a mom, a housewife, the routine is really killing me. It was really difficult because day in, day out, it was just the same. So I have to, I was I felt like this is making me crazy. I have to do something about my life because this is not me.
Yeah.
So we were living in this apartment in front of the United Nations Embassy facing the marina. And across the marina, there was this big hospital. It was a military hospital. And I told myself, like, I think I should be in that hospital. I would try to, just to make a difference in my stay in Bahrain. So I told one of my friends was working in that hospital. So I said, like, is there an opening? And I'm not in the field of allied health or sciences, something like that, but is there something that would fit me? And so she said, yeah, they're looking for this one for secretary of the public relations and marketing. I said, what do I know about that? I'm a teacher, but I can speak English. I can write in English. So maybe I could try. So she gave my CV. And then the next day they called me for interview. I thought it was just a 30-minute interview, but then it was like 5-hour exam.
Wow.
So they really tested my writing ability. They asked me to write letters. They asked me to write memos. They asked me to write a news, what do you call this? The news article because the hospital has a regular column in a newspaper. So for press release, so they said, like, we often publish press release. So can you make something? So I have to prove myself because there were other applicants in line. So that took me 5 hours. But then the next day they called me, like, okay, you can start today. So I said, okay. So but the challenge was, I have a baby. My baby was sleeping. Who should take good care of my baby?
Yes.
So I called some friends. I was just lucky that time. I used to have some friends who were not working, who were also housewives. I said, like, can you please take care of my baby while I'll go to work, because this is my chance. So, and I said, I don't have money. What should I do? They said, okay, here's the money. Go hire a taxi and then go. Yeah. And I was really crying as I was preparing myself, like, I've been a housewife for 3 years. What should I wear? I have nothing.
Yeah, right.
It was a crazy day for me because they really wanted me to start that day.
Yes. So,
without prior notice.
The need was immediate, in other words. Huh? Yeah.
I was there. And then when I arrived, I said, oh my God, I have to work with the community, like most of the people working there were military men.
Okay. So it was a military hospital.
It was a military hospital. So I said, so what should I do in here? At first I was really scared because I'm a petite person, and then I'll be working in the middle of this very like stern giant people. So I said, like, oh good Lord, please help me. What should I do with this? And because it was a military hospital, there were so many protocols, so I have to remember those. And I was just also lucky because when I came, there were a lot of Filipinos working there. So technically the Filipinos were helping me, like contacts, the flow of the work every day. So I sustained. I was able to work there for 3 years, and I learned a lot.
It's a good time to stay in one particular organization or place. But the nature of your job, Miss Joy, as you had mentioned, is on public relations and marketing, no?
Yeah, that was like, it took me a year, and after a year, the general manager's office took me. So I was serving 2 offices.
Okay. But the nature of the work was on marketing and public relations.
Yeah, I started as secretary of the public relations and marketing. So basically, I was helping. My job was like helping doctors because there is the so-called private practice. So consultants, they do private practice, although it's a government hospital, but there were doctors, the consultants were doing their private practice in the afternoon. So the public relations and marketing is responsible to advertise their services, and then we're also responsible for blood donation campaigns, marketing if there are new equipment or new services offered by the hospital. So that is and then we are also working with what you call donors, benefactors,
Factors,
sponsors.
Yeah.
because there are so many events.
How
So
old was your child then when you were working, when you decided to pursue a career
I
after
think I think
having worked
she
for three?
was two,
So it's a
going three
daughter.
years
So
old,
it's a
because
daughter.
I just decided to drop her at school at the age of
Okay.
3, so I could pursue my career.
Yes, okay. So you stayed in Bahrain for at least
10
5 years?
years
10 years, okay. Three of which you worked in that military
in
hospital.
the military hospital.
Okay, okay. And then after that, you moved to Vietnam.
No, not yet. So
Oh.
after 3 years, I realized this is not my path. I am a teacher by profession, so I said, okay, because I wanted to be practical. Like, when my child went to the school, I have to be in that school. So I know I don't need to hire a nanny. So we would go together, we would go back home together, and then I could save when it comes to transportation. So I said, okay, my child would be in this school, so I have to apply in this school too. So, hitting two birds at one time.
Yeah.
So I applied in because my sister was also teaching there. So I said, do you have an opening? And she said, yes, there is a reading specialist opening. Maybe you can try. So I applied, and then they took me in. But then the job was really heavy. Like, it's hard to juggle being a mom and being a reading specialist, because I have to handle 10 classes. And I struggled with the material. So I told the principal, this is a challenging job, but I'm also a mom.
Yeah.
So when the well-being of my child is at stake, I should choose my child over other things. So I said, I have to go, because it's hard to, because every night I have to find materials for my next class the next day. So it was really a demanding job. So it was like I was working at school and I was also working at home. So I said, I couldn't. I had to leave this job.
Yeah. How old were your students in that particular school in Bahrain?
I was given
Primary
teaching
school?
loads ranging. Primary, ranging from grade 3 to grade 5.
Okay, so
think.
very young, really very young, impressionable
Yeah,
kids.
because it was a reading intervention program.
Right. Okay. So in other words, when you say reading intervention and you had to come in, they did not have any reading skill at all, or they had difficulty?
Most of this, because we do diagnostic testing.
Okay.
So I did individual reading inventory. So I noticed there were not really zero, but they had like difficulty in word recognition, comprehension.
Okay.
So the reading intervention program was added over to their regular English classes.
Yes. Okay. So I was about to go into that. So English was the medium by which you communicated with them. Okay. But how was the experience during that particular time, Miss Joy? Because after all, it's not like uncommon. No? It's not uncommon for young people or young kids like who you had taught to have difficulty in comprehension, to have difficulty in word recognition. And these are foreigners? These are international?
Most of those students were Bahraini nationals.
Okay, yeah. So how was the experience? Because as I mentioned, it's not uncommon, no, for children of this age, especially if English is not their medium, or especially if English is not their language of communication.
Actually, there's no difference if I would compare this like to where I am now. The level of comprehension, word recognition, although English is their second language, but then because of technology, these students, when they come to school, they are not zero. Even the kindergarten children, they speak English. When they play in the playground, they speak English, though their L1 is Arabic, because they watch movies. Yes. And besides, if it's different when the environment is an international school, it's different because the students are taught in English. Like maybe they have Arabic classes, they have Islamic classes, but they are taught in English. Their science are taught in English, the math are taught in English, literature is taught in English. So basically, their exposure to the language in the school is really wide.
Yeah, so it's an intervention, no? It's like adding to the curriculum where English is being used as the
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Especially like students who are really struggling.
okay.
So it's a program of the school to help the students so that they can progress to the next level.
Yes, right. And I think because you are a TESOL, no, master, teaching English as to speakers of other languages, I think this is practically the best way by which you can come in, no, with your expertise and so on. So anyway, from Bahrain, right? From Bahrain, then you moved to Vietnam after some years.
I think it was 2018 when I decided, like, okay, I need to find professional growth. I wanted to study abroad, but our pockets wouldn't allow me. So I said, maybe I just have to go home. So so I packed my things in 2008. I think it was May 2018, and then I enrolled PhD TESOL in Silliman. So I was able to finish academic requirement despite of COVID and all those struggles. I was able to finish my academic requirement, but the struggle now, the difficulty is with the dissertation writing because my job is very demanding. So it's hard to find time to research, to write the paper.
Right.
That's the main goal for now, to finish the paper.
Yeah. So in other words, did you do it simultaneously while you were in Bahrain, or you really had to come home?
I came back. I enrolled.
So full time.
Full time student at Silliman. And then I think everything was planned by God. I'm a firm believer of that because it was on my last year of my academic requirement, or I technically be about to finish my academic requirement, and then I received offer from my school now. And when I looked at the offer, it was like, this would allow me to prepare for my writing, since I don't have a scholarship. Unlike my classmates in Silliman, most of them are CHED scholars. I am not.
Okay. So you were on your own?
I'm on my own, so I have to prepare for that. So I just told my professor, like, I think I have to pause for a while and then earn something to prepare for this.
Yeah. Okay. So you went back. You accepted the job in Vietnam.
Yeah. So I accepted the job in 2019.
Okay. Yeah. But then that was when COVID struck, right?
Yeah, COVID struck in 2020, March
early,
2020.
Early 2020. Yes. Okay. So you were in Vietnam at the time.
I was in Vietnam.
Yes. Okay. So, but the area that you are in, no? In other words, the field that you are in is still TESOL, teaching English to speakers.
Yeah, still English teaching. Yeah.
Yes. Right. So this time, because you are in another area, although it's still an Asian country, right? That means that the culture may not exactly be different from where you had come from, except of course in the Middle East, no?
There are so many differences. There are also many similarities. When it comes to differences, I think lifestyle. Bahrain is, Bahrain. It's a rich country, but Hanoi, it's easy to adjust because as an Asian, as a Filipino, the culture, let's say, when it comes to like environment, in here the weather is like similar to the Philippines. So we have rainy season. Aside from that, I think the people's way of life, people are using the majority. You could see, especially in Hanoi, you would see a lot of motorbikes.
Yeah. Okay.
I could drive my motorbike in here, so I could save when it comes to transportation.
Transportation, right.
In Bahrain, you couldn't do that because the temperature, especially during summertime, it's really hot. Yeah, so you couldn't find, like, seldom, like maybe 1%, you would see people driving motorbikes, but they're not driving the common motorbikes that we see in our country and in Vietnam. People who are driving the motorbikes in Bahrain are the rich kids. They are like the motorbikes for them are toys. They don't drive a Honda.
Oh.
They don't drive a Kawasaki in Bahrain. They drive Ducati.
Hi, okay.
A BMW bike, something like
High-end,
that.
high-end.
Toy for the rich kids.
And the time difference, I think between Vietnam and the Philippines is like you are 2 hours.
Yeah. Another thing. Yeah, also time difference. Because Bahrain is 5 hour. There's a 5 hour different. 5 hour difference, while Vietnam is just an hour away.
Okay, an hour or two, I think, no? Like you
1 hour. So right now, it's just 1 hour difference.
Okay, you are ahead in Vietnam.
No, Philippines is ahead.
Okay. So if you say 10 in the morning, you are 9.
It's 9 o'clock in here.
Okay, that's great. No? So the difference is not exactly that wide, no?
Yeah, so it's easy to contact family and friends.
Yes, right. So in other words, because you are in an environment that you are like comfortable in, may I ask, by the way, is your daughter with you in Vietnam? Did you?
Yeah, she's here.
Okay. And how old is she now?
She's 14.
Oh my, no. So can you imagine the years have really fleeted by, no? Very fast. So she's
but she came in like last November, so it was already middle of the year, so it's hard for me to put her in my school. So she's homeschooled now until the end of the school year, and I'm planning to register her in our school.
Okay, that's great, no? Now, your school, since you had mentioned this as well, you follow the Cambridge curriculum, am I right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Perhaps, is there a way by which we can have like similarities with the curriculum that we follow here and the so-called Cambridge curriculum? Or is this only reminiscent of what those who are living in abroad, for example, now where you are now and in your previous job, are following in terms of TESOL, perhaps?
It's not really like different because contents are just the same technically. It's just how curriculum is being planned and implemented. For example, in Bahrain, in one of the schools I've been to, they follow like it was more on the when I was there, teachers were just following like how the book presented the lesson.
Yeah.
However, in the school where I am now, we don't follow the order of the book. In fact, we can choose other materials like materials from the British Council, like other reliable resources that we can bring into the class as long as we achieve our standards, our objectives, and our success criteria. So it doesn't matter what material you bring, as long as the theme, the success criteria is met, then we can freely use anything.
Yeah, right. Now, it's really a very interesting conversation, Miss Joy, especially that we have now touched the base on what you have been trained for, no? TESOL, and since we have mentioned the Cambridge curriculum and how this has also been implemented in your school, and perhaps we can gain some insights as well while those of us who are here in the Philippines are still in the teaching profession. But we will be talking some more with you, Miss Joy, after we pause for this break. Let's probably relax a bit, and I'll get back to you in a little while. Thank you, Miss Joy.
Thank you, Ma'am Cecile.
Thank you.
Welcome to Foundation University, the home of the Greyhounds. Programs offered. Become who you want to be with our state-of-the-art facilities. Conducive for learning. An eco-friendly environment. With friendly, reliable, and committed staff and faculty. Are you ready for an experience? Join us. Make a difference. Be a foundational.
Yes, we're back still on iGreyhound, the official talk show of Foundation University, being streamed live on the Facebook page of Foundation University and also shown on Channel 6. That's our local channel here on Filproducts TV-Dumaguete. And we're still speaking with one of the illustrious alumni of Foundation University in the person of Miss Mary Joy Vailoces. I have to mention your maiden name, Miss Joy. Mary Joy Vailoces Sienes. There you are. And she is enjoying the best of both worlds. Now she is based in Vietnam, still pursuing what she has trained for here at Foundation University, and of course, the profession that she loves the most, which is teaching. Yes, Miss Joy, very exciting life that you have led so far, in the last few years or so. But Miss Joy, we were talking before we paused for a break. We were talking about the so-called Cambridge curriculum. No? I think many of our viewers have also heard or perhaps have even read about the so-called Cambridge curriculum. But very quickly, perhaps in a nutshell, you were mentioning some theories perhaps, or some activities that you said are not exactly different from what we are doing here in the mainstream education sector in the Philippines. Yeah, Miss Joy.
Yeah. So when it comes to content, they're exactly the same. So the contents are arranged according to the levels of the students. But in the Cambridge curriculum, I'll be speaking about English because there are also other subjects like math and sciences. They're also using the Cambridge curriculum. So for us, in the English department, so we assign students regardless of their level. For example, it doesn't mean you're grade 8, you will be in stage 8. So according to your proficiency level, the results of the exams, your performance in speaking and writing, students are grouped according to their proficiency level. So I have like grade 6 students who are stage 7. So meaning to say they are the high performing students.
Okay.
But I have grade 8 students who are stage 7. Mm-hmm. So in other words, our materials are designed to address the proficiency of the students and to help them when it comes to their difficulty. So everything is data driven. So we analyze for example, our exams, we analyze them item per item. based on standards, based on the objectives of the lesson, the standards, the general standards of this for this unit. So we analyze them whether or not the students have achieved this. So if there are some deficiencies, so we the school offers also intervention. We help them, and then we contact homeroom teachers. We contact the parents because there is language barrier. Some parents, could not. They don't English is though they can easily Google Translate, but it's still difficult for them. So we have this. We have this middleman. We have our homeroom teachers, the local teachers, help us reach out the parents to explain like the child has difficulty on this, so maybe we recommend that your child will be transferred to the lower level, which would fit her ability.
Mm-hmm.
So that the student would not feel stressed in our class.
Mm-hmm.
The result is if the student is not prepared for this certain level, they end up being noisy. There will be behavior problems. And I notice in my class, if they are not ready, they tend to be bored, so they sleep in class. So the good thing is we have also our counterpart, the ESL local teacher. So we talk and then we agree like what should we do with this student, having analyzed the data, the results of the different tests or evaluation. So we recommend intervention. We recommend them sometimes to be transferred to another class, or for those students who are really performing well, like who are meeting or who are working beyond expectations. So we also recommend them to go to the next level.
Okay.
So it's not like, in a vacuum, like this is your level, you should stay here.
Okay. So you can
it's
be
dynamic.
Yeah, you can either be accelerated, as you had mentioned, or perhaps be retained.
Or maybe go back one step lower.
Okay. Yeah. How often, Miss Joy, do you conduct assessment of these students insofar as their level or their proficiency level is concerned? How often?
We are very mindful of the data. Like the counterpart teacher and us, the expat teachers, were very mindful. Like if we notice like, this student is really performing well, so we talk like, how is this student in your class? Oh, he is like this, is like that. Oh, maybe after the exam, if the result is consistent, we could recommend him to be transferred to another class or to the next level. So there's, although the school conducts analysis of data, especially for the as a holistic analysis at the end of the school year, so that students could be grouped in the next level. But they're like in the middle of the school year, we like in random, like when I notice like this student is really consistent, maybe I could talk to the my counterpart and we could recommend. So we don't wait for end of the term or end of the school year.
What you're doing, the way you had described it, Miss Joy, is like you are going an extra mile, Can you imagine focusing your attention on each student? Because after all, that's what education is. It has to be learner-centered. You have to focus on the needs of the students and where they are now. May I ask, Ms. Jo, before you answer that or give your comments on this, what is the age bracket of your students? What is the level?
For me, I'm teaching, I have grade 6, so I think they are 12.
Primary, yes.
And then I have grade 7, grade 8, grade 9.
So that's like middle school, That's
middle school, technically middle school.
Yes, okay.
But they are, but I'm handling 2 levels. So I'm handling the stage 7 classes and the stage 9 classes.
Okay. Well, what is meant by stage 7, stage 8, stage 9?
So basically, if you compare it to the CEFR, the European the CEFR standard, you would see that our students who are in stage 6, they are in like A1. And then stage 7 are A2, something like that. And then my stage 9 are in like around B1, B2 level. So as the level goes high, the difficulty also or complexity of the skill also goes higher. So I'll give a very concrete example. So for students who are in stage 6, even if they are grade 9, for example, or students who are grade 9, like they are 14 or 15 years old, but then they are in stage 7, they will do like narrative, like writing stories. But my stage 9 students who are of the same age with them, but they're stage 9, they're writing essays, like they're writing persuasive essays, they're writing articles.
Okay, so that's a different level, and
so to vary the level of
yes, and a higher level, no, as you go higher, so like stage 9 and so on. So your classes, Miss Joy, specifically talking about your own classes, are they homogeneous? Like they all are on the same, I wonder, level or something? Homogeneous?
Yeah, they are already grouped. For example, beginning of the school year, when I receive my class list, the students are already grouped according to their proficiency level. But most of the students, because these students are from different classes, so they move to our class because they are grouped. They are in that level.
So that is how it is, no?
So for those higher level, though they are grade 7, then they go to higher classes. They move to another classroom.
Yeah. So and that is the Cambridge curriculum, English specifically.
I'm not very sure if that is how it is basically in other schools, but in our school, that's how it is done. But when it comes to Cambridge curriculum, it's all about the curriculum implementation. Like for us, we analyze data, we standardize our learning process, we standardize our testing.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically for me, for the past 4 years, I have not made a summative test, like periodic examination in our country. I have not done that because the school has a department who is assigned to do that. So technically our test, so for all stage 7 classes in the whole system, will do this exam.
Okay, so it's
standardized.
Standardized, yes. And there's a different department, a separate department who takes care.
Yeah, there is a separate department who takes care of the summative assessment.
Okay, yes, okay. So in other words, it's kind of very much, well, unlike how teachers here in the Philippines do it, no? Yes, of course we do summative tests, periodical tests, and so on. And even if we may have what we call as standardized or departmental exams or tests, it's the teachers themselves, not a separate department.
Yeah, for us we do formative assessment, like quizzes, end of the week short testing, but for summative assessment, it's different department who is assigned to do that. Our job is to invigilate and to mark the exam. And even in the marking of the exam, we follow a standard procedure in the marking of the exam. And then after marking the exam, teachers would swap papers, and then we recheck if there are, if there is like especially when it comes to essay, although there is marking scheme, we still talk about it, like why is this a 5, why this is a 3. We also talk about that to be fair for our students.
Okay. Have there been instances, Miss Joy, where somebody or a student who has been elevated, or accelerated to, for example, stage 9? What is the highest, by the way? Stage?
There is for lower secondary, we have stage 10.
Okay, for example, if a student has been accelerated to stage 10, have there been instances where the student something like was downgraded, if that would be a correct term, to a lower level? Because
I've not heard of a case.
So it's always accelerating. Or moving up.
Yeah, for me, like I have accelerated, I think few students, but to put them in lower levels, like just like last week.
Okay.
My co-teacher said, like, I think we have to put this student in the lower level. I said, no, I have to let's give him a chance. I said, I will help him. I will work with him. Let's see if there is progress. So I said, no, don't put my student in the other class or lower class. Like, let's give him a chance because maybe the student lacks motivation. So maybe if we can talk to her, or maybe if we can talk to the parents, maybe there would be, big differences, or it would make a difference when it comes to performance. Because some students, when I observe them, they have this linguistic ability.
Okay.
Only that they lack effort and motivation.
Yes.
There's so many factors that come into play in the classroom.
So many factors, maybe, no?
Even if the other teacher is saying, but look, our data would say that this is the scores are consistent, they're very low. I said, no, maybe it's because of the exam. Or maybe during that time she was just tired, or maybe she was not paying attention. Let's give her another chance. Let's talk to her and let's do a little bit of intervention. I will really work with her in the classroom, and I would let her understand that this is going to happen if she would not work.
Okay, so listening to you, Miss Joy, you are a very patient mentor, very patient teachers. Well, of course, teachers are supposed to be patient, but here you are, no? You go out of your way to analyze the data that you have found out from a particular student. But again, this is insofar as English proficiency is concerned, right? Because that is your area.
Yeah, because it's really difficult to judge or to pass judgment on a student's, let's say, general performance based on the exam. Because there are other factors that would affect the performance of the child. For example, I noticed that some students, when they're in the classroom, they are tired, they are bored. But then when I announce, like, hey guys, this is graded speaking test. So when I talk to them, like on a one-on-one speaking test, like, oh, this is a totally different person. So you would know, like, vocabulary range, the child has it. Comprehension, listening comprehension skill, the child has it. So why is the child sleeping in class? So then it's difficult to analyze what are the factors that
maybe
affect this kind of behavior,
or hinders the student from exhibiting his or her best.
Because you're dealing with human being, is really complex. So I always give the benefit of the doubt. Like, I always give a chance unless otherwise the parent would really request, like, can you please put my child to the lower level, because he's really complaining that he could not understand the lesson. It's really hard for him. So, but then I noticed also that there was really difficulty. He would always talk to his seatmate. I said, why are you always talking? He said, I couldn't understand. I have to ask for translation.
But that is in oral communication, Miss Joy. That's in oral communication.
Oral communication, reading, listening, comprehension. When we do listening tests,
does it?
All skills.
Does it follow? Because of course, we have been exposed to several learners as well, and yes, they are different. They are unique, in fact, but most of the learners, perhaps, now I'm talking about the Philippine setting, and maybe it may also be true in your own school setting, there are those who are very good, very proficient in oral communication, but are quite poor in written communication, or vice versa. Some may be comfortable in written communication, comfortable in written, but not maybe shy or perhaps timid when it comes to oral communication. So where do we, where can we have the best combination, or how can we have the best combination, both oral and written?
Actually, research, there are so many researches. Actually, that was my research in my master's in FU. So, like, connection of the different skills. But research would show that there is really connection between these 4 skills. But I understand your point when you say, like, but how come that some students are very good in oral communication, but when they put it into writing, it's really hard for them to connect, to organize their ideas. I also noticed that in class. Majority of my students, when I ask them, especially in a one-to-one, face-to-face, speaking test, they really perform, especially if there are prompts, there are pictures. It's really, they can easily describe the pictures, they can analyze the situation. But then when I ask them to put them into writing, it would really take me to explain to them the pattern. And then it's hard for them to put the punctuation marks.
Yes.
And sometimes they also struggle with the spelling. Maybe I would go back to, I think, the exposure of the students when it comes to social media, to
Okay.
movies.
Yes, yes. I think yes, that is right. In other words, it may be easier for them to, follow, for example, no, words that are being said
Yeah,
orally.
when it comes to writing, it's the convention that they're
Right. Yes, yes, and
telling, the
yeah,
grammar.
writing is a totally different skill
So
after
yeah,
all, no? Yeah, the combination of words, sentences, paragraphs, and so on. Yeah.
but then here's the thing. During online classes, I asked them, hey
Okay.
guys, so I made a research. We presented actually the research in a conference here in Vietnam. We made an analysis whether the students could do well when it comes to writing during face-to-face in
Yes.
impromptu writing activities versus the activities that we post online, because we have a
Okay.
platform for learning
Yeah.
online. And then we noticed that students could write well, like longer sentences, longer paragraphs in online platforms
online.
than in impromptu writing in class.
Mhm.
And then with that data, I asked them, I made some random interviews with my students, like, how did you do it? One of my students said, well, I was just lying on bed and I turned on my tablet. I talked to my tablet and the tablet wrote my
There you go.
paragraphs. So basically, especially we have now ChatGPT.
Yes, ChatGPT, right? Or AI.
Yes.
No?
However,
yeah.
the result of the study is very interesting, because we found out that though the length, let's say the word, let's say the choices of words are more technical, or like they use polysyllabic words in online writing tasks, and then they have longer sentences and paragraphs, less grammatical errors. But then we found out that the vocabulary level is exactly the same. There's no difference.
The same when they do it
in class and online, because the analysis, our analysis would tell us, like, exactly in our data, I don't know how it happened, it was exactly the same number. And then looking at it, we found out that because when they write in the classroom, they tend to translate from their L1 to L2, which is English. And then when they do it online, they also do the same.
Translate it also.
So technically, the same vocabulary words in mind translated into text.
Okay. So why would they still need ChatGPT, for example, or maybe an AI generated article, like they were just lying in bed, as you had mentioned, no? And
but during online classes, ChatGPT was not yet very it was not yet popular. They were using Google Translate. They were using Grammarly. So they said, like, sometimes we just type it in their local language, and then they translate. They use Google Translate. So they use technically the same vocabulary.
Oh my gosh, no? Oh yeah. So yeah, it's a good thing that you mentioned all these developments, no, Miss Joy, because yes, now we have ChatGPT, we have AI generated language and so on. No? Where would you put ourselves, teachers, mentors, the how do you call this? The warm body mentor in the next century or something like that?
Yeah, that's very interesting topic. We had a discussion with that when the ChatGPT thing was very popular. Like, I think it was 2 months ago.
Yeah,
so
only
my grade 9 students were discussing that in their presentation. But then most of them would mention, like, teachers in the classroom, like human being teachers, could not be replaced, because they also discuss, like, what are the jobs that could be replaced by AI, and what are the jobs that could not be replaced. They said that teaching is one of those that are irreplaceable, because they said, my students, from their personal perspective, they said, like, it's different teacher when you talk to a real teacher, a teacher who can empathize our emotions is different when you're talking to a person, because when you're talking to a person, you can also understand through gestures. Paralinguistics, smiles,
or non-verbal
language. So, and I believe in that, because
that's interesting.
AI, they may be there, but they also need maintenance, and they're not always correct.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you translate, like you ask Killbot to translate or to paraphrase some of your ideas, like I noticed, like Killbot is saying totally different thing.
Yeah, because after all, the reason why I asked that is, yes, certainly it's a challenge, no, for teachers. But imagine a teacher who may be callous, no, unfeeling towards the sentiments of his or her students or learners. That's really going to be very difficult. How can one empathize? You mentioned that.
Exactly, it's the human element.
Yes,
that
right.
is really the most important thing in education, I believe.
Yeah, right.
And no one could replace that, because teachers are the second parents.
Correct. And since we are into language, no, I don't think any AI generated gadget or app or whatever could replace what we know firsthand, no, being language experts or those who have been trained using English.
But then the challenge now, because the students are very they're really into it. In fact, when I interview my students, they said, "We know this, teacher. I am doing this. I'm using this." I said, like, "What are those?" And then even video editing. My grade 6 students are the one teaching me. Like when I have to present something in school, they ask me to speak. They asked me to do a workshop with other teachers. I said, like, I want to wrap the summary of the things that I want to say in a video form. But I've not done a video before. I'm not edited. I'm not into social media. So I asked my grade 6, "Can you please help me with this?" And so my grade 6 students were the one teaching me.
Yeah, and I can imagine it's like a breeze for them, no?
Yeah.
Because they are digital natives after all.
Exactly. And then another challenge is, if the student would submit something like generated using ChatGPT or with the aid of ChatGPT, how would the teacher know?
Yes, exactly. How would we be able to tell? No?
So I think we also have to orient ourselves, because I found out that there are also apps, or I think there are also apps and softwares that could check whether this is done by
so something like plagiarism check. For that,
there's like, aside from that, like there are also apps that would check, like even ChatGPT could check, "Hey ChatGPT, did you do this?"
Oh, I see. So it's like a confirmation or affirmation.
Like confirmation.
Okay.
That is really a big thing. I've read many articles that many universities abroad, even locally, this has been a very hot topic these days. Like, how can we accommodate technology into our classrooms?
Right. Yeah, challenge, and at the same time, I think it also makes our lives much easier. So long as we're able to adapt to it favorably. Yes,
exactly. Okay. But there's the challenge when it comes to ethical considerations.
Yes, right.
There's always these two sides of the coin.
Yeah. So, Miss Joy, it has truly been such a nice conversation with you. How I wish we can still extend our show, but nonetheless, in the few minutes that we have left, perhaps you may have some message to your alma mater, to your former professors, to your former students as well, your teachers, and everyone here at Foundation, and of course, those who are here in Dumaguete as well. You have the floor, Miss Joy.
First, I would like to extend my gratitude to my alma mater, because if not because of Foundation, I wouldn't be here. As you know, we're destitute. I'm from a destitute family. Like, we're very poor. I was able to attend university because I was in full scholarship of Foundation University for the full bachelor's degree. And then Foundation was also very kind to me, extending the scholarship even in my master's degree. So I really owe a lot to Foundation University. And all the skills and the value system that I have acquired, if not learned, these are all very helpful in my survival in different countries. So I would really like to, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, Foundation University. I hope you will not stop your
Yeah.
program, extending assistance to the less fortunate students who really wanted to achieve their goals. And I'd like to thank some of my former teachers, and they became my colleagues and friends. Engineer Chona Futalan, Ma'am Gwen, who is
Yes.
always supporting me even if I'm in a faraway land. Ma'am Chona, if I have a data problem,
Yes.
even at work, she's just one message away. Ma'am Chona, how should I analyze this data? What statistical tool should I use? Can I use this quali or quanti? Something like that. Ma'am Chona, even middle of the night, she's always there for me. Thank you so much. My friends, Roulette, Ma'am Jaynard, who is always helpful even in my personal struggles. Attorney Jaynard,
Yes.
thank you so much. I would want one day to go back to Foundation University. I hope Foundation University would still welcome me. I would really love to teach in the College of Education. It's really home. It's the College of Education has been home to me for the last years. Until now, I always message Ma'am Gwen, like, are you looking for a part-time teacher in summer? I want to teach in the graduate school. So, I really want to go back to my roots.
Of course.
When I have achieved my plans here, I really wanted to go back to university teaching. So I hope Foundation University would still welcome me.
Yes. And we are truly proud of what you have become and what you can still do in the next years, of course, Ms. Joy. And the individuals who you mentioned, these are our brilliant professors here in the university. They are still very much around, still doing what you had described, what they do now.
Yeah, Ma'am Tina.
Yes, right. These are the
individuals. I'm very happy when I see their publications published.
Right.
They are my inspirations for pursuing research. So even if I'm in the secondary teaching field, I'm still pursuing research. So every now and then I still, at the side, I still present in conferences and publish research.
That's really
I think Foundation University has, my friends
prepared
influenced me to do this.
Yes, right. So thank you very much once again, Miss Joy, Miss Mary Joy Vailoces Sienes. It has truly been such a pleasure talking to you. Hope to meet you in person, perhaps very soon. Yes.
In June.
Yes, why not? No, yes. And yes, if
I would love to enroll something, maybe baking in the College of Hospitality Management.
Exactly.
I hope you're offering baking courses,
paging our colleagues at the College of Hospitality Management. So thank you once again, Miss Joy. May your tribe increase, as they always say, and Godspeed in your endeavors, both personal and professional endeavors as well. So hope to see you one of these days, or perhaps very soon.
Hope to see you in person.
Yes, right. Thank you very much. So
thank you, ma'am, and the rest of the team for iGreyhound.
Yes, right. Thank you very much. So with that, friends, we bring to a close another very interesting conversation with one of our alumni, one of our illustrious alumni here at Foundation University, Miss Mary Joy Vailoces Sienes, and we are truly proud of all of them. And this is just one particular example by which we can say the Foundation is well on its way to pursuing the mission that it has aimed for at the very start. This has been Cecile Henove bidding everyone a pleasant day, and please do not forget to also tune in for our replays every Friday and Saturday on Channel 6 of Filproducts TV-Dumaguete from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 3 in the afternoon. Thank you once again to my stylist, Miss Nicole Kalumpang, for my beautiful clothes as always on the show. See you all again next Thursday.
College leads you to the future. What it takes is for you to have a strong knowledge foundation. At Foundation University, quality first-hand learning is achieved through our state-of-the-art facilities. You can choose your dream profession and become who you want to be in a fun, learning environment. After all, you can't spell fun without FU. Experience what it's like to be a professional while studying. FU believes that grades alone do not define a student. Rather, it also gives importance to skills necessary for facing the real world. Choosing FU is literally choosing your life purpose. With excellence, commitment, and integrity, you can make a difference. At FU, you can be the one.